Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We will be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we'll be looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section will look at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they're not here to resonate for everyone, and they won't resonate for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation if there is anything, and leave what does not. On that note, this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal, especially if you're a cross-watcher. Remember, take what helps, leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Virgo, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at overall energy with these oracle cards, and then we'll dive in with tarot as we move forward with the reading. So let's start here, your side of this connection, Virgo. Your overall energy toward the person that you are dealing with. Interference. You feel as if there's something blocking this connection, something that's blocking, the card didn't turn all the way around, that's why I didn't take it, but something that's blocking the energy or the love or the commitment here. Okay, what's going on here? Separation, yeah. So you and this person are in separation. And you feel as if there's something interfering with the connection. Or maybe you're even wondering what is interfering with it. So I feel like, especially with healing on the bottom, I feel like this connection is pushing you into some deeper healing here. But I feel like things in this connection felt very one-sided in a sense. And I'm getting that because, like, look at the heart. Like, half of it is drawn in. It's almost like, and I'm not saying it's unrequited love or anything like that, but it feels like things were one-sided. Maybe the energy or the effort, and maybe this person was distracted with something. If there was interference, which I guess let's just look at their energy. This person's energy toward Virgo. Fate with communication. Breakups and makeups on the bottom here, the manipulation. Robotic. Okay. So it feels like with this fate card, this person is stuck in some sort of like fated experience, which a lot of times can be like a prison of their own making, or something karmic almost is what I'm getting from this. Now, this communication, I feel like there's a lack of it. So I feel like you're really left in the dark when it comes to like what's really going on with this person and how they feel. And I think that might be why you're in this, like, what's going on, like with this interference, like trying to figure out like what, especially if this felt out of the blue. Like if this person broke up with you, or if their behavior changed or switched up out of the blue, like of course it's going to leave you in this like, what happened? Like what got in between us? Like, because obviously things were fine and then something interfered. Like I feel like you're really stuck in that energy of trying to uncover what happened here. And I feel like it's not helping that this person is not communicating at all. It doesn't mean you guys aren't talking. I mean, they're not communicating. There's like a lack of vulnerability, a lack of honesty here. And I get that with the manipulation card. So I don't necessarily know what's going on, but I feel like having your your guard up is definitely important here. I feel like there's like, I don't know if Virgos are kind of in this investigative state. But then on the other side, like I feel like there could also be this like, I'm curious, but also like just trying to get on with my life. So I don't know. I feel like you could probably actually fall on either side of that. But let's see. Truth of this connection here between Virgo and this person. Stuck in something faded. Truth of the connection between Virgo and this person. Passion, manipulation, and there's that synchronicity. Whoa. Okay. I feel like you naturally feel very drawn to this person. And I feel like even in separation, you're feeling drawn to this person. And I'm feeling like even if you don't want to be, you're feeling drawn to this person. And I feel like that's making it, it's like you can't shake their energy in a sense, especially with the synchronicity card. Like maybe you're seeing their name everywhere or their car, like, or things that like remind you of them. And it just feels like your energy is consistently being drawn back to them. Especially because I do feel like there's a lot of passion here. But this manipulation card is where things get a little bit tricky. Because it feels like there is a very aggressive lack of clarity happening in this connection. I feel like you have no idea what this person is thinking or feeling. Now, when we aren't entirely sure of where someone's head is at, especially if they're not communicating, we are going to read into their actions, and we are typically going to project our fears, doubts, and insecurities. We're going to look at it from the perspective and from the lens of our fear, doubt, and insecurity. And a lot of times what that can do is that can start to really affect our sense of self-worth, because we start to believe that the way that somebody's acting is a reflection of us, even if how they're feeling is different than how we're perceiving it. And I'm not saying that you're wrong or like that. I feel like there's a need for clarity here. And hopefully this connection or this reading can help provide you with that, especially if you just feel like you cannot shake this for some reason. So I'm intrigued. That's for sure, Virgo. All right, what do you need to know about this connection? This is the overall theme of this connection. What does Virgo need to know? Feelings are mutual. Well, that's even more confusing. And then I saw this like, you don't think of me. Both people think that the other person in this just doesn't care. But that's not the truth. But I also feel like knowing that doesn't really help anything in a sense. What else is going on here? Overall theme. It's all an act. It's never over. I feel like this it's all an act card kind of says it the best. It's like, and maybe, I feel like it's on both sides. It's like both people are acting like they don't care, but both people do really care. But I feel like Virgo, I don't think you want to care. I don't think both people want to care because it's probably painful too. And you might be like, well, how the hell do they care if they're X, Y, Z? Well, people do things for a lot of different reasons that don't have anything to do with us. And like I said, the goal is to really bring clarity here. Now, I think that, yeah, because you have lies and partial truths too. So I don't know what's going on here, but it's sketchy. It's definitely a sketchy energy. So let's dive into the story a little bit more here with tarot. Let's start, Virgo, with your side, interference to separation. Virgo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Whoa. Virgo's side of this connection. The Sun in reverse. The Nine of Swords. This is literally projecting through fear and insecurity. The Nine of Pentacles. So there's still a desire here. You still desire this connection. There's still a little bit of wish fulfillment here, but I feel like you don't want that. So what happened to lead to this? That's what I want to know. Like, what's going on here? Because I feel like it's obvious that there's this almost like you're at war with yourself here. It's like there's this desire, but then there's also this like almost anger and frustration. It's like, I want it, but like not like this. Or like, I desire this, but I can't deal with this anymore. It's just this like this push and pull kind of coming from your energy. The Knight of Cups in reverse. So something really triggering is happening here. What about this Knight of Cups in reverse? Commitment. So you were very committed. I feel like you were committed to making this work. And I'm speaking in past tense, yeah. And then there's the Tower. You were very committed to making this work. But I feel like you didn't receive that same energy or effort in return from this person. And I think that was really triggering for you. I mean, it would be for anybody. But because it made you start to wonder, like, why won't they choose me? Or like, why won't they, give me what it is that I'm willing to give them? Like, why won't they love me? Why won't they, this could be so good. So why won't they? Whatever, enter in what the biggest thing is. Why won't they heal? Why won't they grow? Why won't they communicate? And I think that the Sun in reverse, kind of, because this energy of the Sun in reverse is oftentimes to me kind of representation of the ego and the way that our ego tends to kind of project onto our reality. And I feel like there's a certain aspect to this connection in which there's this desire for this person to finally be what it is that you have known that they could be all along, so that this connection could be whatever it could be. And I don't blame you for that, but I do wonder if that caused you to kind of look past some things that were happening in this connection to try to make it work. Because again, with this Nine of Pentacles, I feel like there is a deep desire here. And again, I feel like you were very, very committed to this. But then you have this Tower here. Something happened that made things really fall apart. And maybe there was infidelity, maybe there was betrayal. I don't know. And I feel like it's a general reading, so it doesn't really matter. Because you know kind of what happened in your situation. But I do feel like there are certain things that are kind of coming through to the surface of this connection this connection is trying to help you address, whether it's deeper wounding or limiting beliefs about what you deserve in your relationships. Because there's a lot of anxiety here. There's a lot of anxiety about what they're feeling or why they did this, or maybe even before something happened. There's a lot of anxiety associated with the connection. It's almost like it's almost like when they finally made some sort of decision or did sabotage or did do something here, it feels like you had been like waiting for it to happen almost, or like worried that they were going to leave, or that you were going to have to leave because they did something wrong. So I don't necessarily know what went down, but I do feel that there is this impact that it's had on your like sense of self-worth almost, because there's this part of you that is looking at this from this perspective of like, why wasn't I good enough, or what did I do wrong, or why am I unlovable, or why won't they choose me? And I get that, but I feel like there's more to the story than your insecurity is allowing you to see at this time. And again, the first way that we view any situation is typically through the lens of our fear, doubt, and insecurity. And sometimes connections, when we're in them, especially if there are a lot of feelings there, those insecurities are going to be strong. So I feel like you're being asked to look at this in a different light, because I think that your feelings are valid, okay? I don't want to take away from that at all. But I think that there's a lot more to the story than just they didn't choose you or you weren't good enough. In fact, I feel like we're about to kind of uncover that side of things. So let's get clear on this person's side of the connection, communication with fate. Because remember, they're stuck in something karmic. Like, what I see fate as is it's like you have your fate, you have your destiny. Your fate is kind of when you're still stuck in cycles, there's not healing that's done, and you're repeating certain patterns. That's like your fate. It's like but your destiny is when you kind of break out of that and you allow yourself to experience healthier situations and patterns. And so a lot of times I kind of equate the word fate, and maybe this is just the way that I'm needing to see these messages, but to karmic. And it feels like they're stuck in something very karmic, a karmic cycle, or a karmic relationship, or karmic beliefs, whatever might be kind of keeping them from this. This person's energy toward Virgo. I was like, is that upright? Ace of Pentacles in reverse. What else do we got here? It's in reverse too. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Eight of Swords, 10 of Wands. There's the 5 of Swords. Nine of Cups, 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Woo, this tells a whole story here. So starting with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is definitely that energy of not knowing what they have, or like what they had, like not being able to fully recognize the value in which you provide. Because again, I'm going back to what I saw, like you were very committed to make this work. And I will say, like, true commitment and loyalty in relationships is not always easy to find. When you find someone who's willing to like work with you and show up with you and choose you and communicate with you, like, and I feel like that's the stance that you were really coming from, like that's super rare. And a lot of times people don't have the capacity to recognize that what they have is rare. So first of all, it kind of feels like they're at this place where they're actually not ready to value you. It's like they aren't able to see how much you really truly do bring to the table when it comes to relationships. Now, with this 10 of Wands, this 5 of Swords, and this 8 of Swords, it also feels, and going back to what I said, like kind of stuck in a prison of their own making. Like, it feels like they're very trapped in certain experiences that they don't want to be in, but they keep choosing. And I think that that's kind of where that fate card really comes into play. And a lot of times I think that what that looks like is oftentimes pushing away people who are good for them, right? It's like they're so used to lacking love or to lacking, commitment or whatever, or passion, or, people who love them well. Like they're so used to lacking that, maybe not passion. Passion's actually pretty easy to find, but that it's almost like they're more comfortable in a reality where they don't have that. Now, with this 10 of Wands, it feels like this person has a lot of baggage. They have a lot that they carry, a lot that they need to work through. And I don't think that they're doing that. So it seems as if they're letting their wounding really run the show here. So what that means, and this is where I see the 9 of Cups with the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, what they're desiring in their relationships doesn't actually align with what it is that their heart truly desires, like what their heart and soul truly desires. Because when you're dealing with people who, are looking for like surface level connections, or they're focusing more on those feelings, because in the beginning of any connection, right, there's excitement and it's this chemicals firing in your brain, and it's wonderful, right? But then eventually those chemicals go away and you're left with a connection, and from there you're kind of forced to build a foundation with that person of trust and of commitment and of communication and working through the hard stuff. When you're dealing with someone who doesn't want that stuff or doesn't know how to get to that point in a relationship, they are constantly going to be searching for that surface level of passion and excitement and all of the things that eventually wears off in any connection. And I think that that's where you have to understand that especially if this person came to kind of take you for granted or undervalue like what you brought to the table, it doesn't have anything to do with you and your worth. In fact, I feel like you brought a hell of a lot to the table in this connection. And I'm not saying you did nothing wrong and this is all on them, okay? But looking at it from the perspective of understanding that the decisions that they made and the things that they did and pushing you away or not committing or, constantly chasing the next best thing, if you will, that has nothing to do with you or this idea that your value, that you no longer had value. I can heavily relate to both sides of this. Before I did healing, I used to be very much in this energy of constantly chasing these surface level connections or that feeling at the beginning of connections. And it feels really good. It always does. But once that feeling goes away, again, you're left with a connection. And that's when you're forced to do the hard stuff. That's when you have to work on yourself, face the things that you don't want to face, communicate with the other person, drop your guard, no, step out of defensiveness, put your ego to the side and actually get to work. And people don't understand that that's actually what a relationship is. It pushes you to grow. It pushes you to heal. And when you find someone who says, I want to grow with you and I want to work through things with you, that's when you really truly find the love that you're deserving of, is when you find someone who's willing to do that stuff. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people want the feelings and the excitement that comes with surface level relationships. And then when things get serious and you have to start doing the work and it comes down to commitment, they go, oh, no, that's not for me. And then they move forward onto something else. And I'm not saying they've done that, okay? But what I am saying is that when somebody pushes away the love that you have to provide, that does not diminish the quality or value of the love that you have to provide. It not diminishes, but it projects or portrays their inability to recognize that value enough to show up for it. And this person, and that's why I feel like kind of stepping outside of your insecurity and the fear that kind of comes up in this connection might help you understand that this person is stuck in their own karmic experience. And until they are kind of awakening, until they do awaken, which might not happen in this lifetime, until they do awaken to this need to address these things, they're not going to be able to show up consistently or loyally for anybody. They're going to repeat these same patterns and same behaviors, and it has nothing to do with you. And so I feel like that's what you're needing to understand. It's not that they don't care. It's not that they didn't love you. It's not that they don't have or didn't or don't have feelings for you. It's that their capacity to be able to commit and show up for that commitment isn't there. And that is not your fault. That's not your burden. But there is kind of a need to address, okay, so if that's the case, how can I break the cycle of attracting these kinds of people into my life? Because especially if there's a lack of communication here, right? Especially if they are just absolutely like not telling you, like there's no vulnerability in this person's energy. There's no realness. It feels like it's very, here's my mask, or here's what I want you to see, but it's not. Now, you probably saw underneath that. But I feel like what you're needing to understand is them undervaluing you does not diminish your value. Them not choosing you does not mean that you don't deserve to be chosen. It means that they literally did not know what they had when they had it. And that eventually is going to come back to bite them in the booty. But, hopefully it's at a time, and most likely it will be at a time whenever you are moved on and living your best life, right? So trying to understand that can help you kind of step outside of what they've done and start to look at what this is pushing you to see or heal within you. So looking at that deeper purpose is where we're going to go next. In the extended, you have manipulation with synchronicity. We're going to dive deeper into these messages, looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to pull at the very end. Before I hop on over, though, I do want to reiterate the announcement that I made a couple of weeks ago, which is that I am holding a workshop all about reclaiming your power to manifest the life that you desire on January 3rd at 6 p.m. Central Time. It is a Friday. It's going to be a live workshop over Zoom. If you cannot or are not interested in attending live, but you would still like to receive the recording of that event, you would still need to purchase a ticket to the event. Everyone that purchases a ticket will receive a recording the next day. Any information on this, as well as the link to purchase a ticket, is in the description box of it's in the description box of the video and the description box of this video. So if underneath the links to the extended, there's going to be a link to another video on my channel. In that description box is all of the information that you need on the workshop. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or shoot me an email. My email address is always in the description box as well. Thank you so much, Virgo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Virgo, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Virgo.